Today we are going to learn how to step up those acrylic Christmas ornaments that are super popular and you see them everywhere. We've all seen these clear ornaments with the vinyl design on the front and paint on the back. And yes, they are so cute and they are easy to personalize and hang on your Christmas tree. But what happens when you take down your Christmas tree and you put the ornament away? Next year, when you go to get your ornament out of the box, you wonder what in the world has happened. There's scratches all over the back. Part of your vinyl has come off and the ornament just isn't as cute as it was before. So into the trash. It's hard to have a keepsake ornament that doesn't last more than a year or two. So in today's tutorial, I am going to show you how to make an ornament that will last through the years and you will be able to hang on your tree year after year and it won't get scratched. I've got some of the supplies that we're going to be using laid out on my table here. I've got my clear acrylic ornaments, some UV resin, as well as a little measuring cup and a popsicle stick. And then we're going to cure that resin with a nail light. And I'm going to show you two different types of ornaments. We're going to be using paint and glitter. I'm going to be using more color options than this. So this is just representative of what we're going to be using. And of course, we're going to be using our Cricut. So I've got some white permanent vinyl and some transfer tape. And then to finish off our ornaments, I've got these cute little tassels as well as some gold cord. I also have a 6 design Christmas bundle available for you to download for free so that you can make the same ornaments that I am making today. And you can find that either in the description of this video or in the blog post. I have already uploaded my design into Cricut Design Space, and I am using Cricut Design Space on an iPad. So this may look a little bit different than if you were working from a computer. The functions are the same, the buttons and the layout just may look a little bit different. You can see as I tap on each one that I already have it sized to a width of 3 inches. So they are the perfect size for my 3.5 inch acrylic base. If you do want to resize the file, just select a corner and drag to the size that you want it to be. Or you can also go into Edit and enter in the specific size, width or height that you want it to be, and it will change it. I'm going to click undo to get it back to my original size, and I'm going to click on make it. It gives me a map preview of how my designs are going to cut out, and if I want to, I can even move them around a little bit to make them fit a little bit better. One thing I do want to make sure I do before I cut is mirror. Usually you only do this with heat transfer vinyl, but for this project, we want to mirror the design. I'm going to click on next. I can select my material, which is the permanent glossy vinyl. And now it looks like I'm ready to go to my Cricut. On the matte preview, it showed my 6 designs within a 6 by 11 inch area. So I'm going to take my mat with the cover still on and roll out some vinyl and find my line to cut. And then cut it all the way across. And I find this is the easiest way to measure the vinyl instead of counting the squares, which does work, but sometimes I miscount and I waste a piece of vinyl. So now I can take off the cover and I'm going to lay my vinyl at the top of the mat. And I always kind of drag it on. And you want to make sure it is good and stuck, so you can either use a scraper tool or the brayer tool to make sure that that is good and stuck to your mat. I'm going to bring in my Cricut Maker 3. You don't have to have a Maker 3. This will work with any Cricut machine. My light is blinking, so I am ready to load my mat. My start button is blinking, so it is ready to cut. And now I'm going to let my Cricut cut out my designs. We are done cutting, so I can unload the mat. and put my Cricut away. It's a good habit to always turn your mat upside down to remove the vinyl or paper or whatever, and then immediately put that cover back on, and that will just help your mat last longer. Now it's time to weed, and I know it's hard to see my white vinyl on my white tabletop here, so I'm just going to grab a piece of paper just to help you see it a little bit better. You of course do not need to put the paper behind it, and I always start in the corner and just peel back. Then to get the little pieces, I kind of put that bigger piece kind of in a loop, so the sticky's on the outside. And then when I pick up a piece from the center, it'll just stick right to that. Now that my designs are weeded, now I can cut them apart. Now we're going to add our design onto our clear acrylic ornament. And the first thing we want to do is take off that plastic layer. There's a plastic layer on the front and on the back. So we want to take that off of both sides. And again, you can do that just using your weeding tool. And now it is nice and clear. I'm going to take some transfer tape and peel that backing paper off. And then to our vinyl here, I'm just going to lay that on. And I always roll it on from one direction. So I'll start on the end and roll it on, and that's how you don't get air bubbles in the transfer tape. Grab a scraping tool and scrape it on, and then you can peel back that backing to the vinyl. And if any part doesn't stick, like that little part of the W didn't stick, just kind of press it into the transfer tape, and then it will come off. Now remember, this is mirrored, so it's going to look a little funky. And we're going to center that onto our ornament. Now I am an eyeballer. Rub it into place. I know it looks like gibberish. It's magical when you turn it over. Peel back the transfer tape, and you can use this over and over again. So I'm going to use this same piece of transfer tape to put on all of my vinyl pieces. Okay, and then when I turn it over, look, it says joy to the world. Isn't that great? I love putting the vinyl on the back because it leaves the front of the ornament nice and smooth. I'm going to add the design to my other clear acrylics, and I'm going to do that off camera. If you need to pause the video while you apply all of your designs, that is just fine. You can pause right now. We have our vinyl designs on our clear acrylic ornaments there on the back. And so now we are going to step them up, and I'm going to show you two different ways how to do that. And the first way we're going to do that is how I introduce this class. So we are going to use paint. These are the three ornaments that we're going to add the paint to, but we want to turn them over because we're going to add the paint to the back. Because if we add the paint to the front, then you won't be able to see the design. And I'm going to be using some red and green metallic paint. And I'm just going to add the paint directly onto the ornament. And I've got two paint brushes. And we're going to start with this red one, and we're just going to smear that around. And you can pick up the ornament and turn it over to see if you like how it looks. And then I'm going to use this one for my green. While our paint dries on these ornaments, I'm going to set them aside, and I'm going to bring in our other three. And to these ornaments, we are going to add glitter to the UV resin. So I've got a little measuring cup here, and I don't know if you can see, but there are little measuring lines there on the side of the cup. For each ornament, we need about 10 milliliters of resin. So I'm going to put some resin into my little cup here. And we are going to add some red glitter to our resin. I basically just went through my box of glitter. I have a ton of glitter. And just grabbed just about every color of red in different, some is fine, some is regular, some is chunky. just so I could have a variety of red in my glitter. And of course I'm making a mess. There's no better way to work with glitter than to make a mess. I'm going to stir that up. And before we apply it to our acrylic ornament, first we want to turn it over because we want to add that to the back. And then I'm going to take some isopropyl alcohol. Here, I'm going to move those out of the way, just to make sure I'm getting any fingerprints off the back. And I probably could have done this with the painted ones too. I'm going to dry it with a lint-free cloth, which in this case is just for my glasses. And then I can pour that glitter onto the back. And then we're just going to spread that around. It's kind of like frosting a cake. And you want to bring it all the way to the edges. And using a popsicle stick really works great. You don't want it to go off the edge, you just want it to go up to the edge. Now that we have that UV resin all the way around the ornament, we are going to bring in our UV nail light. So I'm going to push that in, and I'm going to hit 90 seconds. On my lamp, the light turns off automatically after 90 seconds. So just make sure you know how to use your UV light. You want to cure anywhere between 2 to 4 minutes. So after my 90 seconds is done, I'm going to take out my ornament, turn it, and put it back inside for 90 seconds. Once it is done, lightly touch it to see if it feels sticky or tacky. And if it doesn't, then that means it is done. And there is our Joy to the World glitter ornament. So now I'm going to repeat this process for my other two using different colors of glitter. Our painted ones are now dry, so we're going to do the same thing and add some UV resin to the back of these. Now we don't really need to measure on these. We can just put our resin right onto the back of the ornament and still use a popsicle stick or craft stick, whatever you want to call it, to bring that resin all the way to the edge. Now to make sure there are no bubbles in it, you can go over it with just with a flame, and that will pop any bubbles that are there on the top of the resin. You don't need to do this with the glitter because the resin isn't see-through with the glitter. So a couple air bubbles won't really matter. And now we're going to do the same. We're going to put this into our UV light 3 times for 90 seconds. And here are the ornaments all finished with the resin on the background. They're nice and smooth, and I think they look fantastic. So which ones do you like better? Do you like them with the paint on the background or the glitter on the background? I think however you make them, they will be super cute. But we aren't finished yet. We do need to give them a little hanger. And then I have some gold cord that we're going to use. Mine is elastic. Yours doesn't have to be. You could also use ribbon or whatever you have on hand. And I'm going to cut this to be about 7 inches long. And then I just love these little tassels. So I'm going to string that tassel through my my cord there, and then through my ornament, even up those ends, put them together and tie a knot. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. The ornament is the focal point here, not the holder. Turn that off. And there is our cute Holiday Wishes handmade ornament. Thank you so much for joining me today. And when you make your ornaments, I would love to see what you create. So make sure to tag me at the Crafty Blog Stalker on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, so I can see your beautiful ornaments. If you want more craft tutorials, make sure to check out my home base, thecraftyblogstalker.com. Thanks everybody. Bye and happy crafting!